Jeff Stern with NPC Financial. Today's topic is going to be meant specifically for small business owners. It's one of the more important topics that I think most people don't really talk that much about. And it's really about planning, retaining employees, and ultimately business succession planning. The topics can be really long, so I'm going to break it up into 3 different sessions. But for today, I wanted to focus on buy-sell planning. Many people probably know what that might mean in concept, but I think planning for it is what I find to be pretty much left off the table in most conversations. So very simply, what's a buy-sell agreement? Right? It's just an agreement between one partner and another, or a number of partners. As it relates to what's the plan of action in the event that one of the partners either voluntarily or involuntarily no longer wants to be or can be a part of the company. Many people have partnership agreements, right? So they have the agreement that says what might happen. What they very rarely, very rarely have in place is the funding mechanism to actually carry out what those agreements say they're supposed to do, right? So it might say that if the event that somebody, God forbid, dies, gets disabled, or wants to retire early, where are the funds going to come from? So there's certainly a number of different ways that we could strategize that, but typically the most efficient way might be through the use of an insurance policy, right? Self-funding is not necessarily the most efficient strategy. Typically, the conversation revolves around how much is the company worth, and ultimately what it would take to buy out one of the other partners, so that the remaining partner or two would have their share. So if it's 2 partners, the remaining partner would be 100% owner as opposed to a 50-50 owner, right? So what are some of the steps that you might need to take in order to make sure that you have proper buy-sell planning, right? So first and foremost, certainly you need a buy-sell agreement, a partnership agreement. And obviously the next part of the conversation is to work with an advisor to not only figure out what the business might be worth, but what are the plans? What do each of the partners want to happen in the event that the other chooses not to continue in the business or involuntarily is no longer in the business? So some of those things need to be discussed. And then ultimately creating a funding strategy to make sure that there are dollars in place in the event that any of those scenarios that I mentioned happen, to make sure that a plan that they have in place is going to be carried out. So that's a very basic understanding of buy-sell arrangements and what you need to do to put them in place. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about business overhead expense insurance, which is something that can be vital to keeping a business afloat in the event of, God forbid, a disaster. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave them in the section below. Jeff Stern, signing off.